back to the Gear 426 channel. Today I'm doing something that I have never done before, which is making my own door card for the Diesel Beetle, because it doesn't have any. It'd be kind of nice if it did. I did just gut the entire thing, so yeah. Let's just see how this goes. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I am just figuring out as I go. I have an idea in my head and I'm gonna try to see if it will work the way that I want it to. Not really a whole lot of videos on how to do this, unfortunately. There's like one or two guys out there just self-tapping some ABS plastic, which is what I have right here, into their door panel, and I don't want to do that. I want to be able to make sure that it's serviceable and I can take it off very easily and I don't damage anything. So we're doing. Now I'm going to clean up this mess that I just made. By the way, if you haven't seen the video where I gutted my entire Beetle and then gutted it again, go ahead and click above. I get to break stuff. It's kind of fun. So this is the driver's side door regulator panel piece. The regulator broke, fortunately, which really sucks because it was a new one. It only lasted a couple of months, but it's great to use as a template. And this is a 1/8 inch piece of ABS plastic. It is textured on one side and completely smooth on the other side. I want the smooth side facing out, and this could go ahead and face in here. You'll see in another video why. So what I'm thinking with this is facing it down this way, trying to get this edge right here almost perfect. You know, close enough I can trim it up. Which, I guess I'll move it all this way. Yeah, thinking about drilling a hole and go ahead and putting a bolt in right away so that it will hold it in place, and then doing it in another spot, and then just going around with this little mini hacksaw, which I already tested it out. This thing cuts very nice. And then literally just using this as a template and going all the way around and cut out a piece. Then I'll go in and make clearances for like right here where it's a different height than the rest of it, and cut out the speaker area, along with making a switch panel that will bolt in and bolt out very easily. Stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and drill a couple holes, get this thing bolted to itself so we can just go ahead, run around and cut it without it moving around on me. Yeah, I know, I'm probably gonna get plastic like all over my carpet, but that's what they make vacuums for. I also got these nylon spacers from the hardware store to go ahead and give it a little bit of a gap. Try to make this thing look as clean as it can. I'm literally just figuring this out as I go, so this might change, who knows. Alright, now that I know this piece won't move around, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be putting all of these bolts yet. Whenever I, have the finished product, I am not going to be using every single hole, but definitely a good bit of them, especially every single one that's around the speaker. But yeah, okay, so go ahead and get to cutting. This is probably going to take a while. This is already getting really annoying. Curious to know how much my neighbors hate me. Now I'm gonna drill a hole and go that way. I really do wish that I got a jigsaw. This is starting to be a little bit of a workout. Thankfully I'm almost halfway there. I'm gonna fix this. Okay, now that that's figured out. Cool. This is going right outside. Well, now that we have the rough cut done, we could actually go around and try making it nice everywhere, which probably gonna have to use a file for some of this, which is fine, not a problem. Just have to work at it little bit by little bit. Over here, I have to figure out something with the height because it lifts up right here and I want it to be completely flat. So I guess I could probably try working on that. Try seeing where it needs to be cut. Yeah, like right there-ish. Alright, let's see how that lays down on the panel. Yeah, that works. That'll work really, really well, actually. Alright, so clearly it's probably been like a week from now. I do want to go ahead and state I am sorry about how the first part of this video was already turning out. I was very tired. I actually fell asleep on camera. It was kind of rough. I had a crazy like 20-hour trip. I was rocking on like 2 hours of sleep, and yeah, I just really wanted to get the video done. Yeah, so the rest of this is probably going to be very energetic how I usually am. Yeah. Anyways, so have our door cord right here. I've cut it out. Looks great. Need to smooth it up, make it look all pretty. Haven't done any of that yet. Need to put this guy in, which is like a $300 window motor. I know that sounds ridiculous. The reason why is because this right here is actually the door module and the window motor in one. Kind of nuts. Gotta go ahead and install this guy here. Now we could go ahead and see what our clearances are, and I've already experimented this on the passenger panel. I've been building the passenger panel off camera because it's the same thing, just backwards. I need to go ahead and space this out just a little bit more. I know I use 1/2 inch spacers from here to here. I use a 3/4 inch spacer here, and then the rest is just 1/4. This is where the 3/4 inch spacer goes, and a longer bolt as well. That actually works pretty good. I am going to be putting a piece of the weather stripping over window motor, just to help prevent like any rattling. The stuff that I did get is the sponge kind, because the regular stuff will just fall apart. That will help prevent rattling because we don't want any of that from the speaker and hitting bumps. So right now what we need to go ahead and do is flip this guy over and drill the holes from the back side out for where the door handle needs to go, and start putting in the door handle. After that, we'll go ahead and do the speaker. On the back side of the panel, this is where the door handle bolts in, so I don't care if I mess up the threads, because this is the old regulator that's broken. I don't want to drill a hole through the table, and I forgot about that part. Yep, we have our 2 holes right here. Now we need to take the panel back off, get my unibit, and weld these guys out pretty big, and you'll see why. Got these holes drilled. Cool. I did it from the back side. One thing I forgot to do with this is I wanted to go around. This is just to make it look really nice. Makes the screws lay flat. It's just I think it's called blind holding. I don't know. I'm just taking the edge off of these, just making it really nice and pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to these too, because I'm trying to do the best job that I can. Being that I've never done anything like this before, and this is also my first time ever working with ABS plastic. It's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and put it back on the panel, so we can figure out how we want our handle sitting. So this is my door handle. It's obviously not stock to Volkswagen. This was bought a long time ago. I don't even know where it's from because I didn't buy it. And it has these spacers that bring everything out to make this work. Well, these spacers aren't going to cut it. They're not long enough anymore. And neither are these bolts. So I have these longer bolts and this guy, so we could go ahead and make it the height that we want. What sucks is those are Allen heads, which were really cool. They were countersinked to this. I would love to countersink these 10 millimeters into here, but that is just not gonna happen. That would be like a huge 9/16 hole, and I can't find a drill bit that big, at least not at the very moment. And I'd rather go back to the Allen heads anyways, because they just look nicer. I just gotta go ahead and order them to get them here. So for now, this will do. Just put a little washer on the end and we'll be fine. I just want to go ahead and set this in here to see if we could figure out kind of how we want it. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. I could go with some longer bolts, but these aren't too bad. They'll work just fine for what we need to do. So now I just need to figure out how much height I need. It used to be 2 1/4 inches. I had to go steal one of my wife's Sharpies so that I could mark this. So after not having one of these for years, I finally went out and actually got myself a Dremel tool, and I got the really nice one. Oh yeah, that's gonna look so cool. That's nice. I like that. I like that a lot actually. Now we just need to go ahead and make another one, and then we'll put that in, and then the handle's done, and then we can move on to the speaker. I need to drill this hole right here just a little bit bigger because it's off just a little bit, but I like that. That is pretty freaking sweet. Okay, well, now that the handle is basically done, I just need to get in there with my unibit and make that one just a tiny bit bigger, or nah, screw that. I'm going in there with the Dremel and making it just a tiny bit bigger. Perfect. Hell yeah. Okay. now let's go ahead and do the speaker. So for the speakers that I'm going to, I got these guys. These are the exact same speakers that I actually have in my truck. They're pretty awesome. I really like them in my truck. I do have some Pioneers that are in the bug right now. The only problem is those were picked up at my local salvage yard for about $5 a piece. God knows how long they sat in the rain. They came with horrible mounts, but they were already in another Beetle. They had all the mounts and everything, and the speakers that were currently in my car were completely blown, so they were definitely an upgrade, but they will not sound nowhere near as nice as these ones. I do really like Pioneer. I'm kind of a Pioneer guy, but that's what we're going to go ahead and put in here. I want to look at all this from the back side because that's where it's all going to matter. I do have a giant hole saw that I'm going to use, but I know it's not going to be big enough. This is a 5-ish inch hole saw. Hole number 1 done. And I know that it's not big enough. Okay, time to spend a lot of time with the Dremel. Yes, there we go. Okay, and then the cover would go on it like this. And that looks really freaking cool. I need to go ahead and get a tiny little drill bit and pre-drill into the plastic so we can screw this down because I don't want to like mess up the plastic. I mean, I'm not worried about splitting it, but you know, pre-drill it and it just makes everything a little bit easier to go in. I need to go ahead and clean up a little bit, and then we could go ahead and move on to the switch panels, which let's go ahead and put this in place. I just want to see how nice is everything looking so far. Yeah, this is turning out cool. For the switch panels, I need to make 2. So I've thought about this a good bit on where I need to put them and all that kind of stuff and how to do it. I already practiced on the passenger one, and this is what I made, which is a piece of ABS plastic that will screw into this on top of it. I have the texture side faced out. I am going to paint this because of the epoxy, but the back of it is the clip for the actual switch to clip in and out of, so I could still clip the switch in and out and replace the switch if it goes bad without having to make a new one of these. And that's essentially what I'm going to do with these. So this being the driver door, there's a lot more switches. I need to go ahead and make a bracketed plate for both of the window switches, and I need to go ahead and make a bracketed plate for the trunk and fuel switch. I have figured out where I want them. I want my window switches all right there, which is great access for me. I have plenty of room to get to them. And for my fuel and trunk, they are going to go right here, which is right surrounding the window motor. Window motor sits right here, and this is the deeper spots. I'll be able to get the wire connectors underneath them pretty easily. They're going to be sticking out, so this is what I have planned. But like I said, first I need to go ahead and clean this up a little bit with the vacuum because I am getting tired of stepping on plastic. And then we could go ahead, bust out the Dremel, cut these guys off, cut in little squares, make little panels, and then this door will pretty much be done, and then we could go ahead and install it. Now that I've cleaned up my mess to continue making more of a mess, I need to cut the back of these off. The first one I did it with the hacksaw, and that was a pain in the butt because I didn't have this, and now that I have this, I'm going to use this because this looks way easier. I just said this a lot. Cool, got the bracket right there. Still has a good bit of structural rigidity, which is awesome. It doesn't matter anyways because whenever I go to epoxy it in place, it will get even more strength than probably what it originally had. Who knows? I'm not an expert at this stuff, but that is one that is done. So I goofed on this one a little bit, but I think I can still save it, so I'm not too worried. I don't know, we're about to find out. Oh, no, I didn't completely mess it up. Now that we have those cut out, we can go ahead and start making a piece to glue them to. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of plastic and see what we can do. Thankfully, we have a whole bunch of this stuff to work with. It is pretty awesome. But I want to start off with using this little piece right here, just because it'll be easier to work with right away. This is to make everything kind of like smooth and pretty-er, at least. That one is ready to be epoxied. Now this one needs to be getting ready to be epoxied, which I could almost make what I have right here, what I have left, work maybe? Too thin for my liking. I really hate how loud that is, but you know, it's whatever. I'm doing the best I can, and this fits in here perfectly first try. Holy crap, hell yeah. I am so oh man, nah, never mind, it's too fucking big. Shit. Time to try this again. I'm tired of using that Dremel. I'm happy I have the Dremel. Happy I have it. But with what I'm doing, not really the best thing in the world for neighbors when you live in an apartment complex. And if any of you have actually watched a whole lot of my videos on my YouTube channel, you would know I'm probably not the best neighbor in the world to be around. So what I have here is some JB Weld plastic weld. Stuff sets at 5 minutes. It's fully cured in an hour, which works out great for what I'm doing. I just need to go ahead, mix some of that up, put this together. This is just a Q-tip with the end cut off, works great for what I'm doing. So I just need to have these set up the way that I want them, and then I'll JB weld them. And I'm not worried about this gap that I have on this one, because I made this hole also just a little too big. I'm gonna fill it with this stuff, and I'm actually gonna spray paint these black, just so you know they all look the same color and look like one piece, even though they're totally not one piece. Let that one sit, and now we move on to this one. I might have to mix a little bit more together. I'll let those sit for a little while. I'm going to take a break, clean up this mess, eat a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll cut more holes into it so that we can go ahead and put those in place, and then the panel will pretty much be done, and then we can go ahead and install it and see how it looks. Yeah. Alright, it's the next day, can you tell? So I got my panel bracket things made for all of my switches. I'm going to go ahead and put my switches into here. I've been editing this video as I've been doing all of this. I noticed that you can't really see what I'm doing whenever I put this here black object onto this here black object, so sorry about that. Not much I can do about it. I found the easiest way to go ahead and do this is to just take my hole saw, drill a giant big hole, and then use the Dremel tool to work it out the rest of the way. Well, finally, this is done. Now I can stop making a mess of my freaking house. I already finished the passenger side panel. Now I can just go ahead, take all this crap downstairs and install it on my Beetle. Finally! Been waiting for this for like 3 weeks. Yeah, that's how long it took me to make this, by the way. Maybe like 4 or 5 hours collectively actually doing both panels. But it's been like 3 weeks because I've been having to collect parts and whatnot. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take everything apart and bring it all downstairs where we could go ahead and start installing it on the diesel Beetle. Okay, now we can put the door panel in. First, I need to go ahead and take this out. There's a bunch of this plastic underneath it that I need to clear out. No sense of putting that on video, I'm just breaking stuff. I've already fixed up all the window wiring, which you will see in another video. I got rid of all of the security wire and the door light wire as well, because I don't need it. I already have the passenger side in because I wanted to make sure that I know how to do this. So yeah, I need to take this off, remove that crap, remove the speaker, clean, I also have to take off the handle, clean the edge, put in the weather stripping, put the door panel on, make sure everything works, and we're all set to go. All this beige is what I was talking about that needs to be removed. Just like that. Now it's all gone. Easiest way to make a car fast. If you don't need it, delete it. That's also the cheapest way to make a car fast too. Alright, so I have a little bit of rubbing alcohol that I'm going to use to clean up the edge of this door panel, so that whenever we put the weather stripping on, it will stick, because there's nothing there to prevent it from sticking. Hit it with a dry one. Alright. Need to go ahead and get that speaker out of the way. I'm trying my hardest not to get in the way of the camera. Now let's see which of all of these need to be removed and which ones need to stay. This one, and that one need to stay, so everything else needs to come off. Now we can take our weather stripping and go around. There doesn't need to be any around the speaker, or realistically from like here to here, all that way, because the gap is so big it's honestly pointless. But everywhere else it is needed. So we'll just start here, work to about there, probably right about there-ish, just to be safe. Do the same thing on the other side, and we have to put one strip here. I think now we could actually start putting the panel on. So this is exciting. Just a little bit of wire rerouting, but hey, everything fits. That's always a nice feeling. Now we could go ahead and put that top piece on. That top piece gets a little bit of weather stripping right here up front, and I need to drill 2 holes in it. Just gonna take 2 zip ties, put one here and one over here. This is what's going to hold this top piece in place. Now before I only had this one right here holding it and it worked out great. Now I'm just going with 2 just for a little bit more stability. I'm gonna go ahead and take my XO knife thingy bobber and cut them as flush as possible so there's nothing sharp on them. That thing looks nice. I like the placement of the switches right here. They're easy for me to get to. Everything works. That is freaking awesome. This is so nice. That looks so much better. I need to spray paint that right there. That's whatever. But that looks so much better. And same thing over here. See, that's what it would look like if it was black. You want to be able to tell. And I just like the placement of the switches. It's nice. The speakers look way better. This is, yeah, I like this a lot. Oh, it's so nice. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. I wish I could have done a much better job, but I still suck at filming. Go ahead and leave a comment below about how much I suck at fabricating and filming, and yeah, constructive criticism. If you haven't subscribed, please hit it, pretty please. And I'll see you guys in the next one.